Hi guys, we are here with the Fantastic Four who never fail to take their shots. We are here with Kirti, Sayani, Manvi and Bani J. First things first, since I'm representing Cosmopolitan India, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the words Cosmopolitan India?
Equality.
Okay. And what about you, Sayani?
It's Shayoni first of all. And the magazine, I think a lot of fun and a lot of colors.
Okay. Manvi?
I think, I remember my teenage because I used to read a lot of Cosmo in my teenage. So, my own teenage.
Okay. Bani?
Well, I thought of two things. One is that I just shot for Cosmo, so I'm wondering when is it coming out? And the second thing, a cosmopolitan city, so pretty urban, modern, contemporary, stuff like that.
Like Bombay, Mumbai.
We'll dive into the main theme of the show, which is travel and friendship. So the questions are going to be accordingly. What are your travel styles and preferences?
I do a lot of solo travels.
Okay.
I like. I'm a very solo person. I like spending time and with me. And I just recently did a bike trip in Ladakh, which was my first bike trip ever. I like. I'm a very non-touristy traveler.
Okay.
I like to not plan too much.
Super.
I just like to decide a place and take it as it comes.
Okay. And Shayoni?
Very similar actually. I mostly travel solo or I sometimes travel with my girlfriends, which is also a lot of fun, very different. In the last 6 months, I've done some 8 countries and...
Wow. Where all did you go?
Most of Europe and UK. I mean, only London, but most of Europe. And I came back from Greece, and then in a week I went to Ladakh, and I just came back. So one always wants to go to. I like to not again plan and just take in the place, speak to the locals, speak to a lot of people, figure out what they are doing, and you get so much information in terms of food, things to see. And also explore. I love walking around, cities, exploring cities. Yeah, and then you find a quaint church and, and the most beautiful places, completely unexpected. And it's a very personal kind of thing, One of the most beautiful experiences I've had was last year in Egypt in this mosque. And it's a very dramatic story, but I actually, finally, when I went in, I was alone and they had just finished their prayers. And it was just so, the reverberations and the energy in that place was just unbelievable. And it almost made me cry. And so a lot of those spiritual experiences, but just being open to exploring.
Manvi?
Same. I don't like planning to the T. I don't like traveling with people who plan. I don't like traveling in big groups anyway because there's always some kind of friction that ends up happening in terms of scheduling, this, that. I always try and keep 2-3 days where it's just I want to get lost. And I've actually gotten lost so many times in different countries and I've always found my way back. And that is a very liberating feeling. And then I agree that any place for you to be able to explore it, you have to kind of do it on foot. That's number one. Because you find these quaint little cafes and little tiny shops and vintage stores and all, which you won't otherwise if you go to a mall or take a cab or something. And thirdly, this thing of interacting with the people. I'm always talking. I'll talk to people about where they're from and how long have they been here and what do they. I'll start getting into political discussions just to get because what we get is a very sanitized and filtered version of world news. So just to kind of get a sense or the pulse of what the locals are thinking. Yeah.
Bani?
I'm on a where to begin? Also been solo traveling since I was 19, since I got my passport actually. It's my first movie. Since then I have been traveling and it's been amazing. Love to travel by myself the most.
Okay.
But will take the opportunity every now and then. My friends are like, hey, let's travel together. I'm like, okay, very cautiously optimistic about it, and we go to 1-2 places. But really just love spending time with myself because then I get to do whatever I want. I don't have to listen to anybody else. I have a few things that I always have to, kind of like a checklist of things that always have to be there when I'm traveling. I will literally travel halfway across the world to just train at a specific gym. because of the vibe, because there've been like some bodybuilders who've trained there, because of like some piece of history that's gone down in these gyms. So I've been to some of the most famous gyms in the world for sure. Also the most famous occasions. Like I love seeing touristy attractions and stuff because obviously they're tourist attractions for a reason. Like the Duomo and stuff like that. Oh man, breathtaking. You want to go see those places. You want to take them in. But apart from that, and there's always some like really legendary places to go eat at. So once a week, cheat meal, let's go eat it. And I'm gonna do it. That's all good. I love renting cars when I'm abroad and driving them, like Mustangs, whatever, Chevy muscle cars. When I'm in the States, I will rent those out, drive them around. No, UK, I'll get a smart car, no problem. So like, there's no like consistent thing. Just want to like have a different experience with it. Will public travel also, take the trains, trams, whatever it is. Prefer driving, 100%.
Okay.
And have to train. So get to see different gyms every day. That's just like, that's my way of relaxing. I will be training. And sorry. Oh, we're done? Okay, next week.
What would be your country count? Like, who amongst the four has traveled to the most countries? Have you all ever discussed?
We haven't
We have never
discussed
actually-
Whose passport would have the most stamps?
I mean, I have 3 passports.
Oh, okay. So
I
that's
have 2
I have
passports.
2
passports.
I have 3 as well.
okay. Cool. Okay. They say you don't really know a person until you've traveled with them. What do you think about that?
I really think that's true. What?
You don't know a person.
They say you
until
don't really know a person until you've traveled with them.
So
what do you think?
traveling, I really agree with that. Traveling is almost like a short form of having lived with someone.
Yeah.
You know, like utne
Crash-
time
a
mein-
crash course, yeah.
हाँ, it's like a crash course in what would it be? So they also say that if you want to choose a partner,
Yes,
you
I
know,
want to
best
test
way
with them.
to get to know someone is to travel.
Yeah.
So
So
all
Before you commit
Yes.
to a long-term relationship,
Take a trip.
Take a bloody holiday.
yeah,
trip.
it's I think it's true. Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Every group has the organized one, the always late one, the one busy clicking pictures, and the super enthusiastic one. Who's who in your group?
Always busy taking pictures.
Pictures.
Okay.
Super enthusiastic.
I'm also super enthusiastic.
Super
Organized.
organized.
Yeah.
I'm not
no,
late.
she's not late, but.
Okay.
But, oh, sorry. She's
She's going at her own pace. She's not late.
Yeah.
Relax.
Okay. What impact has traveling had over the four of you all over the past 2 seasons as a group? Have like from strangers to like being on a project and now well into its 3rd season. Trips have like how have trips made you all bond?
That's a very good question.
I have a great story.
I came prepared.
Yeah,
Yes,
good job.
we are so glad.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Well done, Udit.
So one of the first things that one of the most shocking things that I discovered about one of my co-stars was when we were jammed in the backseat of a car in Istanbul. It was Shiny, Kirti and myself. And of course I had my phone out because I love to shoot the BTS of all these things. We were searching for Siddhi, who as she just said likes to get lost in places, which is very funny because it got reflected in her track as, her character. And we were up an extremely steep hill and the driver had to drive all the way down in Istanbul. Now she's getting flashbacks of it. Kirti was petrified! She was like, all of this stuff was happening.
So steep.
And
No,
I
it
was-
was so steep.
And I was like,
And both of us were like, we have never seen Kirti like that. She
yeah,
was like so
just freaking
flustered.
out, bro.
I have this fear of car going back
Yeah.
on slopes.
Yeah.
So this stoic demeanor went out the window in Istanbul, and I was like, a little afraid to shoot her, but I was like, oh my god, look, she's freaking out, guys, she's freaking out.
We both were
I'll
like,
never forget that.
oh, no, my God.
So that's something new I learned about
It
Kirti.
was very cute.
Yeah. You guys?
And which are the best moments from like where you're really bonded or sometimes trip kharab bhi ho jata hai or sometimes something like
But
that?
I think for me, Italy was
Best outdoor
best outdoor ever. Also because more people, that's why
Yeah.
we got
So
a
many
lot
cast
of breaks in the middle because there were combination shoots like 2 people, 3
Okay.
people. So we had a lot of time to spend with one another, and the whole cast was there. Like 10 of us was there, which was a production nightmare, as Manvi pointed out. But we had the time of our lives, and it's also Italy, and we were shooting in gorgeous places,
And the
So
weather
I was
was
just asking
fantastic.
Bani when you all were on a break, like this
Where
photo
was that shot?
yeah.
On the
Both
Jindal Castle.
actually.
Yeah.
All the photos. There'll be many more that'll come out. They're all in Italy.
Hopefully.
Yeah, touch wood. And we were shooting in first we were shooting inside a castle which was like 80 acres of forest land and the castle is in the middle and we were all staying there. Manvi, Neil and I went for a walk on the first
Got
day.
lost.
And we
With
saw
deers and
3
like-
deer run, it was just stunning. And then we shot in a place called Orta, which is like a medieval
Oh, yeah,
village
Orta.
with
That's
a lake.
nice.
And
That's
it
where the
was,
lakes and all.
actually, this is in Orta.
It's like the sister
That's
town.
in Milan,
Sister
but yeah,
town
and
of?
it just had its
Okay, so
own
everyone gets
quaint.
married.
I'm getting goosebumps. Like
Something
you know
like
that vibe where it's just stuck in time and it's so pristine, and we all sort of went into that mode, you know, and it was just stunning.
So you know, from when we were doing when you had to move from the castle to Orta, so Orta was a smaller hotel. Okay, so I remember they came and asked me that you know this it's a smaller hotel, but all our shoot is happening there. Would you want to move to that hotel
It was like
instead
half
of
an hour
doing
away.
this castle? Yeah, it was like
Back
a
and forth.
45-minute one-way drive. So I was like, can I see the view from the hotel room? And I saw it and was stunning. And I was like, so he's telling me, the production guy, he's like, see, okay, you're in. I said, yeah. He's like, I'm going to try and convince the others. I said, don't waste your time, just show them the view. And then that's it, they'll be all sold.
Like I
and then we all
actually,
decide.
I made a reel of Italy, of Orta, of like our rooms, the girls' rooms would open up. The balcony is just into
Just
the
on the
lake
water.
and then the mountains.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And there was a tiny
Island in the
Yeah.
middle.
in the middle of the lake, which was, you know, it's probably people's holiday homes with like one church.
No,
and we
it was a
went
church
in.
and then
It
otherwise
was
very
just
nicely
nunnery
deserted.
Yeah, there was a nunnery. Yeah, so yeah.
Anyway, next question.
If you could pick a destination for season 4 to be shot at,
New
where?
York.
New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Manhattan. I think we should go to Barcelona for like a bachelorette scenario.
Actually,
maybe.
Spain is amazing.
Yeah,
Spain
and
is
I
amazing.
think
Okay.
like,
I mean,
we should
yeah.
go to
Season 4
Greece
Spain.
maybe. I'm like
I
Greece, New York.
want to do like
Greece,
some
New
South
York,
American country
Barcelona.
because I don't know if I'll ever go
Peru,
there
Costa
otherwise.
Rica,
Yeah.
Peru.
Argentina.
Machu Picchu. Chalo.
Machu
Hiking.
Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Peru.
Okay. And since all 4 of you all were talking about solo traveling, like which has been your solo trip? Like you were saying Ladakh.
Ladakh was one. Jordan couldn't be solo. I did Georgia last year. I did Serbia last year. I'm doing US now.
Okay.
So, and I've done a bunch of them in the past. So, yeah.
Okay. Shani?
Oh,
best
Prague,
solo?
Vienna, Greece.
Okay.
I'm forgetting. Actually, even Italy, a lot of it, you know, I mean, not some of it I did solo. Yeah, it's quite.
No, so for me, my most special solo trip was my first solo trip because I didn't think I could do. It's just Pondicherry, like Auroville Pondicherry, which I didn't think I could do. I mean, only because you feel like you need someone to be with. But I had a blast, and then after that, I've done mostly. Actually, I haven't done international solo trips. All solo trips have been domestic. Yeah, so
You can take tips from the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
She doesn't need to. She's just going to do it.
Sorry, what was the question?
Your best solo
Favorite
trip?
solo
Best solo trip. Oh dear, all of them are amazing. Best solo
The
trip.
ones that stand out.
All of them are okay.
Or your first solo trip?
Oh no, I did. I did Shanghai solo. Shanghai.
I'm still thinking of the. I'll have to get back to you. Best solo.
Okay.
Take his number.
There's so many. I'll message you. Best.
Message him,
There's so
WhatsApp
many.
him.
Okay. My last question. Which are your favorite foods from your hometown or native place?
Oh, very good questions, yeah. So impressive.
From Rajasthan, what do I like from Rajasthan?
Can I answer? I have my answer ready for this.
Yeah.
This I can answer. Bolo?
Yeah.
I think
बोलो, बोलो.
my favorite thing from my hometown was when my grandmother would make mutton biryani, and then there would be paneer bhurji, and Krishna Didi would make pulka with ghee.
Okay.
And then for dessert, she would make the same ghee wali roti and put jaggery in it and make churi, which is when you smash it up and make laddus.
Oh, I like that.
And I haven't eaten that since I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Okay. And I'm sorry, but your hometown would be?
Punjab.
Chandigarh.
Chandigarh. Okay. Manvi?
I don't know whether to count Kashmir as my hometown or Delhi, but and both the places have kick-ass food. Yeah, so I think Delhi. I miss the street food, the chaat, the golgappas and the momos, the sadak wala momos, and chola kulche, those 25 rupees one. Parathe, not a, but those, and then that kulfi faluda, all these things. Kashmir, I would say. I love obviously the non-vegetarian food there because it's outstanding. But I think the veg food is also very underrated. So shout out
love
to
the Kashmiri food.
shout out to Kashmiri veg food. I like haq and nadur churma and the malu.
Nice.
Shani?
Start with where is your hometown?
Kolkata.
Of course, yeah.
And yeah, I too love everything, but actually the misconception again, as Kashmiri food is that Bengali food is mostly non-vegetarian, which is not true. We eat the most kind of vegetables. So my favoriteest food is kochu shak,
Okay.
which nobody would have heard of. It's basically a saag, like a weed that grows in the pond, you know.
But similar thing happens in
so my
Kashmir as
mom,
well.
yeah. So my mom makes this stunning kochu shak with prawns. Like sometimes you can also give prawns in it. Also panchmishali, you know, like these are all like vegetables, like aloo jhinge posto.
Okay.
Simple parval aloo, but pot,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
aloo
bit
poto
of-
like that, yeah.
Let me talk about Rajasthanis, they'll kill me otherwise. I do, so there's something called churma, which is very similar to churma.
Dal bati churma.
So dal bati and there's churma, so they are three different things.
Cool.
But usme se I like the churma the most. Also I like, there's a sabzi called sangri, which is like a desert tree that grows. Uska kuch lamba lamba aisa fali jaisa kuch hota hai. So you only get that in Rajasthan, and I like uska sabzi with bajre ka roti and stuff like that.
Super. Fine. Thank you so much for your time. All the best.
Thank
for
you.
Cosmo Shots.
Thank you so much. Best
Thank you.
interview.
Thank you.